This More Than the Score segment is brought to you by Universal Men's Clinic.
Welcome back. Well, it's been another sports week like no other. The NBA will resume playoffs tomorrow. So happy to have Cedric Golden join us from the Austin American-Statesman. And Cedric, we saw that first week of June and the images here at home of the UT football team walking in unison down to the Capitol, the raw emotion of players, and things got done amazingly at UT. And now at the tail end of the summer, we're kind of going through this again. What were your emotions, your thoughts when the Bucks decided not to play and kind of set the dominoes in motion?
So we'll continue to keep you.
You know, it felt like Groundhog Day to me, Raj. How many times is it gonna happen? And it's so sad that here we are 52 years after Dr. King got killed, having the same issues in America, and the tormentors have more often been the cops than not, and we can't have that. And love can build bridges, but hate can tear bridges down. And I'm glad the NBA players and the WNBA players and Naomi Osaka, some MLB teams decided to do this. And when you have a platform like that, I think it's important that you use it. People have come after me the last few days saying, well, LeBron James is a millionaire. What does LeBron James have to complain about? This is bigger than money, Raj. Bigger than money. This is about our way of life for our people. LeBron James has built a school for kids, underprivileged kids. So he's trying to make the world better than it was when he found it. And I think we should all aspire to be that. And I'm glad they did it. I'm very glad that they're still playing. But for them to not play would have been to take away a very important voice.
Doc Rivers spoke today about they just needed a chance to kind of let the emotion, I don't want to say die down, but, take a deep breath. Chris Paul, to your point today, said, we know we make a lot of money. We get that. That is such a cop-out, I think, for so many people to say that because they have the guts that we haven't seen. And you and I have been doing this a long time, and we haven't seen much of this in the last 20, 30 years where players are actually willing to give up something.
Roger, we came up in the Michael Jordan era. We're close in age, and Michael Jordan was maybe the greatest athlete of our generation. But Michael Jordan didn't speak out on issues like this when in his heyday. LeBron James is this generation's Michael Jordan, and he is speaking. Chris Paul is speaking. Very, very important that the best players in a sport speak. Like Colin Kaepernick took a knee. Colin Kaepernick was a backup quarterback. Not to diminish his act, because it did cost him millions of dollars and his career. But he took a knee, he took a chance, and it cost him. But the difference is, had it been someone like Deshaun Watson a couple of years ago taking a knee, a Pro Bowl quarterback, a guy who's on the ascent, or someone like that, it would have sent a much bigger message. You have LeBron James and Chris Paul leading the charge. These are perennial all-stars, future Hall of Famers. People are going to follow them. And more important, people outside of that bubble are going to listen.
College has also followed. Texas didn't practice yesterday. Oklahoma today had a march across campus. Baylor did the same thing. Lincoln Riley speaking, saying, we don't have the answers. I need to listen as much as I need to suggest things, but people are wondering what's getting done. To me, that's a huge step. It's just kind of acknowledging and being willing to listen, let alone what Texas managed to accomplish in a short time.
You're so right, and we don't know what the next step is going to be in this thing, Roger, but we know that a step is coming. They're marching on Washington as we speak. People want the world to be better. I'm a black man, Raj. I've known you for 20 years, 25 years. We go back to East Texas. And maybe where we used to be is not as accepting sometimes as where we are now. But the one thing that we can agree on is no one wants to be treated better than anyone else. I don't, Raj. I just want to be treated the same. I just think that when you look up and you see a 17-year-old white kid blow two people away. He showed up with a gun, obviously looking for trouble if trouble found him. And then he walks through 3 police squadron cars, not detained, and he's not stopped. They give him bottled water. And then this is on the heels of you shooting a man in the back 7 times who didn't have a weapon. So it's just underscores how much work needs to be done. I don't hate anybody. I love my fellow man. I was raised to treat people like I want to be treated. But just because I was raised that way doesn't mean that I can't point out injustices and when people are being wronged in America. And this is supposed to be the home of the land of the free and the home of the brave. And so I'm not seeing as much freedom as I need to see.
One of the things you and I both have had to evolve with is the social media, the digital aspect in our careers. And while the word can get out much faster and much more immediate, everybody has a chance to respond. And with Twitter and your podcast and newspaper columns, what's it been like? Because obviously everyone's not going to agree with you. And, maybe 30 years ago, you might get a letter. Now you can get a barrage within, an hour of anything you have being out there.
Well, I'll tell you what, Raj, if this was 20 years ago, if Twitter existed, I would be in a lot more fights because I wasn't as mature as I am now. But the game has changed. Social media has made everything more immediate. And so I can just point back to when I first got the column a couple of years in, and remember Obama won the nomination. And Buck Burnett, Texas Longhorn, said something very racist about it. And Mac Brown threw him off the team. And I had just gotten the column at the Statesman, and I wrote that Mac made the right decision. It was going to ruin his locker room. I got all manner of death threats, N-bombs in the mail, on voicemail, you name it. And that was my baptism by fire as a columnist.
Keep fighting the good fight, Cedric. Thanks so much for your time.
Okay, brother. Have a good one.